How many of you have experienced conflict?
Good one.
How many of you have experienced anger when handling conflict? You're not alone, so have I. In our roles as leaders, wouldn't you agree that we deal with conflict and anger from time to time? Yeah, we do, don't we? Yeah, here's something that I've understood, and that I've actually experienced myself, and that is, in my role as a leader, and even in your role as a leader as well, in dealing with both conflict and anger, you have to do so in a productive and professional way, don't you? Yeah. That's why I want to make certain today that I give you what I call the 7 calming strategies for leaders in conflict. 7 calming strategies. Now notice I'm saying what? Calming. The emotion, the energy that we get from anger, we need to do something with that. And we need to be able to handle it in a productive and professional way. Now, there are 5 strategies that are already listed in your handbook. Yeah, I want to give you 2 additional ones. And I need to give those to you because I recently experienced some conflict. And these are 2 things that I discovered that I wanted to share with you. So why don't we start with the very first one that's in your workbook, and that's alpha breathing. Now, I know when you saw that at the bottom of page 25, you were thinking, what on earth is alpha breathing? You know, thinking that you have to do this, right? Make a muscle. No, it's all about being calm. It's all about deeply breathing. That's simply what it is. It's deeply breathing. But here's a trick to it. When you're deeply breathing, you know your abdominals are moving, right? We want the abdominals to expand like a balloon and deflate, like a whoopee cushion, if you will. But you want it to be done through the nose. So here's what I want us to do, because I know that may have sounded a little confusing. Now, I know all of you are breathing right now, right? Because if you weren't, you would have been passed out on your desk. So you're all breathing right now naturally. So what I want you to do is experience breathing in through your nose. Breathe in through your nose. Is your abdominals expanding? Release it through your nose. Release it through your nose. Now do it again. Breathe in through your nose, and now release it through your nose. Now, you know when we become angry, if we're breathing so loudly where we can hear it, we're becoming what? More angry. We're becoming more angry because we can hear it. When you're doing the alpha breathing is done so that way you can silence the emotion, keep the energy contained, and you can stay focused. But remember, it's being done through the mouth or through the nose. So you're breathing in through the nose, you're releasing through the nose. Another technique that you can use to stay calm is to use positive self-talk. Now, what usually happens with us when we're in conflict, we're feeling the angry emotions, what are we usually thinking in our minds? Oh, I want to slap that person, right? Sometimes that's what you're thinking. Sometimes you're thinking words and phrases that are not necessarily positive. So here's what I want you to remember. Whatever it is you're thinking in your mind, grab a hold of it, change it around, make it positive so you can release it out. Release it out in a productive way. Now, if I'm standing there thinking to myself, as I did in this recent conflict, I want to slap that person. What could be something that I could shift that into that would be positive? I want to hug that person. Love it. Thanks, Maya. Could it be changed into something else? Could it have been changed into something else other than I want to hug that person? I bless that person. Absolutely. I love that. 2 great suggestions. And you notice what happened. The negative thought was taken, shifted around, placed in something positive, so it was released out in a productive and professional way. It's all about being calm. Now, here's the 3rd technique I want you to remember, and that is take a drink of water. Take a drink of water. Now, you don't know when conflict is happening because we can't go to our date book and schedule it at 1 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, right? You never know when you're going to experience conflict. Yet water is something that you can use as a prop, and water is something that you can use to shift your breathing, calm your emotions, get that energy more stable. Now, let me point something out. if you don't have your bottle of water, don't go to a carbonated drink. Why? Because you'll start belching at the wrong time. So get rid of the carbonated drinks and think about the water. Again, it's all about keeping you calm, keeping you centered so you can use your energy in a productive way. Now, here's a fourth thing that I want you to keep in mind. And many of us do this unconsciously, but we want to become a little bit more conscious about it. And that is change your position. When you're angry, your energy is going, you're in the midst of that conflict, you're thinking about strangling that person. You don't want to strangle the person. You also don't want to do something that will be unprofessional. Yet you can change your position. So you can either stand, you could sit, you could walk, yet don't do what I just recently did, and that was jump. Why did I jump? Because my anger was getting out of control. I jumped, and I had to literally reel myself back in. Now, I'll talk about that a little bit in another moment. Yet remember, change your position. You can do what? Sit. You could stand. You could also walk. But you don't want to do what? Jump. Thank you. Don't jump. Now, here's another thing that you can do. And this is the fifth technique, and it's listed in your workbook. That is simply take a break. Get away from the situation. So that way you can leave it there, go get recentered. If you need to, push something, slam something, talk to someone, remember it's the energy, right? We need to get rid of that energy. Here's the key though. If you take a break from the situation, make certain you are very specific with the person about when you want to return to resolve that conflict. Now, the next two techniques I want to give you actually come from that last point. And it comes from that last point, and you see I'm getting a little agitated here, right? Because I'm thinking about the conflict I was just in. The conflict I was just in, actually, we were making the attempt to take the break and be very specific about when we're coming back together to resolve the conflict. And here's what happened. I said to the individual, you're right. This is not a conversation that we need to have right now at this time. Let you and I get together and we can hash this through on our own. The person's response was, no, we will not. No, we will not. My response was, did you just tell me no? Here's what I learned from that. Communicate. You have to communicate from a standpoint of listening as well as speaking, which then goes into the final technique, and that is keep a mindset of resolution. Keep a mindset of resolution. We communicated because I finally got the point that we were miscommunicating, which is why we were having the conflict. Having that conversation separate, one-on-one, just the two of us, would have given us a chance privately to resolve it. Yet my mindset became, you're right, this is not a time for the conflict. Let's resolve it one-on-one. I was thinking resolution. She said, no, we will not. Her mindset was not on what? Resolution. Her mindset was not on resolution. We eventually resolved it. It took 2 weeks for it to happen. And when we eventually resolved it, we won't have that situation again. But it's all about when I was in that moment, remembering breathing, and I really had to do it when we had that private one-on-one conversation. It was about remembering taking a drink of water. It was also remembering keeping that mindset of resolution and dealing with conflict in a calm manner. Now, I not only told you about 3, but I gave you how many? 7. Gave you 7 techniques there. Calm, professional, yet productive. That's what you want to do. So any of those techniques that you use, either you can use all 7 of them or you can use any one of them. Remember, the mindset is to have resolution. So that way the conflict does not persist any other time after that. All right? Thank you very much.